Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Zay's in Conversation podcast, episode 2. And for today's topic, we will be talking about having a girl or boy best friend in a relationship with this generation or today's society. And today, I'm here with
Marcus, Marcus G. You can follow me on MLG_Flakes with a Z. I have a photography page, so if you want to help me out, go ahead.
Follow that, get y'all pictures.
Jalen, and you're watching Disney Channel. You can follow me on IG at j.godbless, that's jay.gotttablas.
I go by B.
I'm Sydney, and you can follow me on Instagram at askabout_Sid.
I'm Jamie. You can follow me on Instagram at jaimee.jordann.
And y'all can follow me on Instagram at YEPITSZAY. And don't forget to follow the podcast Instagram at Zays in Conversation.
And subscribe.
Yes, don't forget to subscribe, like all that. For my first question, the first question is going to be, if you had to choose between your girl best friend or your significant other, your girl best friend or your boy best friend, or your significant other, which would you choose?
My significant
Yeah, significant.
Y'all choosing your significant other. So what about that? Like, why would you choose your significant other over your best friend?
Because
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
that's the person you spend it. That's the person that you can spend the rest of your life with, make kids with. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
Because that's the person you build with, basically. Like, your best friend, they can only do so much for you. Like, my best friend, it's a girl, but I know she got my back, but it's only certain things that she can do. Whereas if it's my boyfriend, like, we're building something, so he knows what I'm really going through on a day-to-day basis.
Anybody else?
I feel like it just depends on like who's really been there for me. Really.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what it really depends on. Like if you're my best friend and you know you've been there with me through my ups and downs, and you're my significant other and you just like over here, just I got you, and then not really showing that you got me. But my best friend is, then I feel like I'm more connected with my best friend than I am with my girlfriend.
I feel like that was kind of like the approach I was taking. It was like, to me, it depends on either how long the relationship was with either of them, like as a friendship or a relationship, because I could be dating a girl for like a week and I've been best friends with somebody for 2 years. Like, I know they got my back. So like, I guess it depends on the circumstances, but I mean, overall, in general, if it was like equal history, whatever, I'm choosing my significant other over my best friend. The next question is going to be, do y'all think that a girl or a boy having a boy or girl best friend in a relationship, or actually, do y'all think that a boy having a girl best friend or a girl having a boy best friend in a relationship is like a red flag? Because, you know, that's kind of talked about on social media a lot. Or she got a boy best friend, that's a red flag.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a red flag. Kind of like, it depends. So like, say I'm dating somebody and then they get a boy or a girl best friend,
Yeah.
then that's kind of like weird or a red flag. But if I go into a relationship and they already have a boy or a girl best friend that they're super close with, I'm not going to be all skeptical about it because I know how they are, how their relationship is. But at the same time, that boy or girl best friend, they should respect the boundaries. You can't really do everything that y'all are used to before we was in a relationship. Like, it's just a respect type thing.
I agree. I feel like depending on the type of history or vibe they have and what they did beforehand is when you determine like, oh, y'all do that, I don't really like that. But I wouldn't say it's a red flag.
No, go ahead.
No, go on.
I mean, they basically said it. Like, I'm the type of person, like, if they was there before me, I have no right to be like, oh, she gotta go. Like, that's like, because that was already your friend before I even came in the picture. So they basically touched on it, like, yeah.
Same, like Marcus said. Like, I feel like boundaries are very important. If you do have that best friend before you get into a relationship, boundaries are very important. I feel like it comes to like, if you have a problem in your relationship and you're going to like her and you're telling her about like our relationship, then that's when I'm like, I don't know. But
I'm glad y'all touched on that. You when y'all said the thing about like boundaries and stuff, that was one of the questions. One of the questions was, at what point do you draw the line with like the relationship and the boy or girl best friend? Like, what's the boundaries that y'all would set, or like what's a boundary that if crossed is like it's off limits for you?
Okay.
You said the thing about going to them about advice and stuff like that. You could explain more on that if you want to, or somebody else could jump off.
So like, just like if it depends on what the problem is, like, cause if it's like a really heavy problem and it's like, I feel like if they were to tell them like, I don't think you should be, I would get mad. Cause it's like, we could have talked it out, you could have came to me, you could have went to your homeboy, something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
homeboys aren't always like, you know, the best alternative. I know that, but you know, it just,
Right. I feel like not a lot, but some best friends, boy or girl, they'll be like, oh, I don't think you should be with them no more. You should just break up with them type. Either it's because they like you, or they want you to themselves, like not even on no relationship stuff, but like they want you to themselves.
Simple stuff shit.
Right. Or it might be like
trying to help.
them not having experience with either giving advice or situations like that, so they like you just leave them.
Yeah.
Right. You still with them.
I feel like it depends on the kind of person, because some people will quickly be like, oh yeah, no, him, it's fuck nigga free, yada, yada, yada. Or like depending on the kind of person they are, or another best friend will be like, no, I see y'all like really rock together, y'all been together, y'all need to work it out. But to touch back on the where do you draw the line, me personally, I'm a conservative type of person, so I don't necessarily want people in my relationship. I'd rather figure it out by myself or
Right.
talk to somebody I really trust, like my family.
I also think it depends on the relationship too. Like if you're in a toxic relationship and your best friend is like, y'all are just toxic, and you know it's toxic, but you're still with that person, I feel like it's sort of like, okay, I can listen to you, but don't do too much with telling me like what to do with the relationship.
Because if you know it's bad, and you keep telling me, and I'm telling you it's bad, and you know what you should do,
I'm not
if you
giving
don't
you
do it, I don't want to hear about it.
You said I know what to hear
I don't
about
want to hear about it
it.
if you're not going to leave him or them.
Right. And then you are no.
They touched up on it.
The next question was gonna be, is if you had a best friend of the same or opposite sex, where y'all, I guess would say opposite sex, and then y'all same opposite sex. If you had a best friend that was of the opposite sex and you've been best friends with them for a cool minute, I'm not gonna put a time set on it, y'all can do that yourself, a cool minute, and you get into a relationship and that significant other has an issue with you having your best friend, or they have an issue with that best friend individually, how would y'all handle that situation? Like, would y'all try to bring the two worlds together, or would y'all like end up having to pick one?
I feel like it depends on what your significant other says the problem is. If it's something that can be negotiated or that can be kind of like separated, you can separate the two, never bring each other up type of thing. Or but if it's something that's really a deal breaker, then that would be something that a person would really have to think about and decide on, especially if they feel like they have like a chance with their significant other. Like if it's somebody worth marrying, worth spending the rest of their life over or with.
Anybody?
I'm about to say, yeah.
I feel like for me, because I'm not gonna lie, I actually been in this position before. If for me, I feel like when it came down to it, I had the best friend already, and we wasn't best friends for like a year, and then it was like a couple months, and then I ended up being in a relationship, and the person I was in a relationship just didn't like the fact that I had a best friend that was a girl in general. Like, it wasn't nothing specific. It was just like, oh, you know, you're talking to her, or this is your best friend when you should be talking to me and stuff like that. So I feel like when it comes to choosing between the two, I feel like as a significant other or a best friend, unless the person gives you like a specific reason, as in I don't want you next to this person or I don't want them in your life, I feel like it's not really your place to put that label or that opinion into your significant other and best friend's mind. Because as a significant other, I'm not gonna tell my girlfriend, you can't have a boy best friend if this boy best friend is a positive impact on her life. As long as he's not flirting with her, he's not trying to get with her, I'm cool with y'all.
Yeah.
That's really how I look at it. I would probably, if one had the problem with the other, I would probably try to like work on it with both of them, because I feel like y'all don't gotta be friends, but y'all not about to disrespect each other.
Right.
Yeah.
You just unlocked the memory. So I remember it was my girl's friend, she's my sister now, and I got into a relationship, and she just felt like I was always more with my best friend than I was with her, and I was just like, that's not true. I literally spend my time with you all the time, and I just felt like she started to find a problem with like every little thing, and I think that's when you communicate to to your significant other and then to your friend, not going to them about how they feel about each other, but like going to them about like, hey, maybe we should do this, and then going back to the other person being like, okay, well, if I do this, will this be okay? Like, just communicating with each other. I feel like communication is definitely a big part in all types of relationships.
Right. Very big on communication.
Kind of want to touch up on that because I was in a similar situation. My significant other, like I was playing the game with my girl best friend. You know, we're laughing, we're having fun, but she was getting like jealous and stuff. And at first, like I could tell she had an attitude, but I kept asking. I was like, "What is wrong? What is wrong?" She at first she wouldn't say it, but after a while, she was just like, "I was just jealous." Like not saying that she disliked it, but she was like kind of uncomfortable. So we had to come up with like a compromise or like a common ground understanding of what to do in that situation, or how to handle it, or how to kind of lessen that uncomfortable feeling. So just really, it just comes down to communication. You'll have to come to a mutual understanding when it comes to having two important women in your life.
Jealousy is strong. That will definitely mess with somebody mentally and cause them to go crazy.
And to touch back on what y'all said, I feel like when your significant other has a problem with your best friend and there's no reason, then that has a lot to do with their past and previous experiences. And to touch back on what you said, if it's more so not being comfortable with the situation, that communication and finding a way to lessen that or finding a way to negotiate that helps a lot with the being comfortable with it. And then eventually, or hopefully, the goal is to be eventually more comfortable with it and there not be a problem at all.
I wanna add on to that. I wanna put another question out there. The question is, do you think that it makes a boy or a girl insecure if they have a problem or if they have a natural problem with their significant other having a boy or girl best friend? Because you know how you said either it can be like something that happened in their past, or it can be like just something within themselves that they're either bothered by you having a girl best friend or having a boy best friend, or like whatever the case is. Do y'all think that makes them insecure, or?
I don't think it's
I
insecure.
don't think so.
It like she said, basically it's like, you know, stuff from your past is always gonna find its way to show up in your, you know, your current situation. So I don't think it's them being insecure. I just think that they're, what's the word? Like, I don't know the word.
I feel like they just have their guard up.
Yeah, like they're guarded
They're
from their
traumatized
past
from their
situations.
past.
Yeah, so they're trying to
moving in
figure out, like, are you gonna do the same thing this week?
Exactly.
See, but with that, right? Of course, you can't judge somebody for their past, like that's obvious. But then it comes to like little stuff, like you'll be talking, and be like, "Oh, why y'all talking about that?" And you start getting on the girl about that, and be like, "It's just a regular conversation."
Right.
And I mean, that kind of spins back to, you know, finding a common ground, seeing things you're uncomfortable with. But when it comes to a point where it's like the smallest, tiniest things, and that nobody would ever usually get mad at, but that dude or girl is blowing up about it, then I feel like that kind of evolves or morphs into an insecurity type thing, because it's like, at that point, you just straight up don't trust them. And you don't want to get in a relationship if you don't trust, or if you're not healed within yourself, you don't want to get in a relationship
Right.
where you're just always going to be accusing of something, even if it's tiny stuff.
And see, I asked that. I'm sorry.
No, you
I asked that because you see like a lot of on social media or like just in friend groups in general, when it comes to that, there'll be like a girl or a boy will say, "Oh, well, what are they doing for you that I'm not doing for you?" Or you talking to her when you should be talking to me, or that's your girl best friend, I need to be your girl best friend, whatever the thing is. I feel like that right there, not me personally, I don't think that it's an insecurity thing all the time, but I feel like some of the time it has to do with insecurity and stuff like that becoming normalized is what, like, even if it isn't an insecurity, I feel like stuff like that becoming normalized on social media is what makes it seem like, oh, she just tripping, or oh, she just insecure, or vice versa, he just tripping, he just insecure. Because a lot of people say, what are they doing for you that I'm not doing for you? When a lot of the time it's not about what they're doing for me that you're not doing.
But to,
I made you lose your train of thought.
no, but I forgot what I was going to say to respond to you. But to respond to you, that you saying that, like I hear you, but you saying like you feel like it's the little things, but coming from like trying to come at it from a different perspective, they may get at you for the little things, but in their past it may have been the little things, and they was like, oh, it's nothing, and then it became something.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like past experiences can cause even the little things to pop up on their radar, like and I feel like they may not be insecure, or they may say that they healed over it, but you can heal over something and still not be completely over it. Or it can
Right.
trigger you,
Yeah.
and then you'll be like, oh, it'll take you back to that place where you weren't healed at all, and then all the just come right back up.
You can forgive and not forget.
Right, and one thing I want to say on that too, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say after you had said it, but then both of y'all, yeah. I feel like when it comes to that, I think you was kind of saying like, if you've been like through a situation in the past or whatever, and it comes up in your present with your significant other, I feel like that's kind of obviously your significant other has a responsibility to like check on you, see if you're okay when it comes to that situation. But then also I feel like you have a responsibility to be like, well, this is something that happened in my past. I want to talk to you about it to make sure it don't happen with us, type thing.
Yeah.
To lay it out.
Yeah, you gotta like lay it out because I feel like a lot of people they like, dang, did I just lose my train of thought? I feel like a lot of people they'll put past issues onto a present person without
communicating.
without communicating, or either
Really
without communicating or without having a reason, or without communicating, so not having a reason, without.
Like, I feel like people do it like
Unconscious.
accident sometimes.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, because it's not, I don't think programmed is the right word, but it's like already in them. Like, they was already like, oh, this and that. They're like, it was like a big, it's natural. It was a part of their past relationships. And then, like you said, you could heal, but it's always going to be a trigger for you. So,
But to like you mean like doing it unknowingly.
yeah, like you can just be like, like, I don't know.
Like after
Yeah.
did he realize like, ooh,
Like, I shouldn't did that, but like, hey,
yeah.
like it's not, and I don't
It
want
was
to,
your
because
first
you don't want to
reaction.
like, you don't want to say
Because
that
you
it's
heard it.
just because it's in you that it's okay, because that's not
Right.
the right word either. But yeah, it's just like it can happen.
So the next question is, what's your opinions on how it's been stereotyped that girls secretly mess around with their guy best friends or vice versa? Because it's a lot on TikTok. I think it's more on TikTok too, where they be like, oh, he got a girl best friend, they effing on the low, or she got a boy best friend, same thing, they talking behind they boyfriend or girlfriend back. Like, what's your opinion on that stereotype?
I feel like that's just be. I feel like people just be lying most of the time about that.
And I feel like, I feel like, well, yeah. I don't know, because then like you said on TikTok, because then you'll see like videos and they be like, oh, this is my boy best friend, we was doing this. They're like, people like make it a ongoing joke, so it's like you really don't know if they're actually doing that. Like, not saying that chill person is doing that, but like just because it's so normalized, it's like it's always gonna be in the back of your mind. So
Yeah, I feel like part of it is an ongoing joke, and then part of it is people actually sharing the experiences.
yeah,
And that brews up a lot of like, fear of the situation that a person is currently in.
Right, and I feel like it's one thing to share your experiences, but then like how people joke about it, and then those be the same people that be like, well, I don't want a nigga that got a girl best friend because of the very thing that you're joking about. But it's like, I feel like, dang, what was I gonna say? You see, like I lost my train of thought again. I was gonna say, I feel like you shouldn't joke about that because it's like setting the tone for something like that or normalizing it is making people think it's okay, and that begins to travel, and then it becomes a reality. Like that being joked about so much, now people think that that's okay.
I wouldn't say it would make me think that it's okay. I would say that it's forming that it's not okay to have the boy best friend or the girl best friend, or to, always have a problem with it as soon as you get into a relationship, because you're seeing like these people, they on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, they're bragging about it. Like basically like, yeah, this is what I do, like what you gonna do about it, haha, like nothing. Like if I get into a relationship and I'm already seeing that, like, and be like, okay, but then at the same time, I feel like when you get into a relationship and they already have a boy, girl best friend, you just gotta ask like, what was y'all relationship? Because if it was like y'all was best friends, but y'all was still like flirty on the side, like let me know, because then I might have a problem with that, because then I don't know if that's what you still gonna be doing, and like, they just think that that's your vibe. But if I'm in the picture, that's not your vibe anymore. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, just gotta make sure I make sense.
But I feel like it's a difference if like two mature people sit down or they're talking about getting into a relationship, and then one is like, well, you and your best friend, like, what did your relationship consist of? And then it's different than being, I hella lost my train of thought. It's cool, I ain't gonna lie.
Anybody else before I move on? The next question is, Have you ever been accused of messing with your best friend or significant other? Like, not that you actually have. Y'all don't have to put that out there, but like, have y'all ever been accused by a significant other? Like, oh, you talking to your girl best friend, or oh, I know you talking to your boy best friend on the low. If so, y'all could, tell not a story time, like, elaborate on your experience with that. Yeah. No, y'all never been accused of that before? No?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have, but it was one of those things. I was in a relationship. It was an on and off relationship, and this is when we was off, so we wasn't even together. But I was more connected with my best friend at the time, and she just found like it a problem that we were still cool with each other, and I was just like, but we're not together. So what do you mean? Why do you have a problem with it? Mind you, me and her ended it off on like good terms, but she found it a problem that I was like really close with my best friend. And I was just like, I don't see what the problem is. She just started, oh, well, y'all had to have been together when we was talking and everything. I was just like, no. I don't know. It was weird because I feel like now that we're out the relationship, you're just bringing stuff just to have a problem. And now you're making it seem real toxic as if I was this person that I'm not, if that makes sense.
Putting a negative light on you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've never been like accused of secretly talking to my girl best friend, but I've definitely been like, what's the word? Questioned about it. Like I've definitely been questioned about it, like where a girl was just like asking me a million questions about me and my best friend or our relationship type thing. But that's pretty much it for me.
Y'all know those like anonymous apps where like people could type anonymous stuff on it and like, answer it? Every time my best friend would post something, like to do it, somebody would put like, oh, you and Jalen together, y'all don't gotta hide. I'm just like, and we would just laugh about it because it's like, it's an ongoing thing. They still do it to this day too, knowing that we're more like brothers and sisters. But it's just like, why? Like, what joy do you find in doing that?
Yeah,
That's just
and then it'd be another thing. Like I feel like that's more common when the person ain't even your best friend. Like if it's just your friend that you be hanging around a lot, oh, you fucking with him, or y'all talk, or what y'all be doing.
You want me or something like what?
Right. Like why are you worried about it?
That's
They say it
stereotype.
to get your reaction to see if you say no or yes, and it just be like, what
I'm
was the
trying to test the
point?
waters.
That's
He said, I'm
stereotype.
trying to-
It do gotta go, cause
It
like
gotta go.
it's ridiculous at this point. And me, like I don't have a lot of female friends, so I always been like one of the only girls in the friend group. So there's always been like I've never been accused, but I've been questioned. Like it's like I be having to tell people like I know them, like you don't know them how I know them, so I don't want to mess with them because I know way too much. It's just
She said,
I know too much. It's just like if you knew what I knew, you wouldn't want them either. So it's just like you gotta leave me alone.
I feel like people use it as a way to find out about you if you're in a relationship too. Like they use it like, so do you and so and so mess with each other? No. You sure? Because I think that like y'all two got something going on. No, we don't. Oh, okay. Next thing you know, they like you and they're like trying to get with you. I feel like they just use it.
But it's what actually you need to say with your chest.
Right,
If
say it
you
with
feel
your
somebody,
chest.
say you feel somebody.
Right.
Heavy on the being question, like, cause
Right.
I'm gay clearly, but it's like,
She said,
because I'm with some of my female friends does not mean I want them.
Right.
Like, that's crazy. No, no.
I'm like, and that's different for you too, cause like with you being gay and stuff, most females that are gay, they're like stereotyped to hang around like a lot of niggas and stuff. But it's like I know you have a lot of female friends, so you being around your female friends and stuff like that, I can see how that's like she talking to them.
It gets so
or whatever,
old,
yeah.
like, no, not at all.
Next question. I know it's like it's a big thing that boys or girls, whatever, are quote unquote doing stuff with their best friend, like either behind your significant other back or just in general, like if they don't have a boyfriend, but they still got a boy best friend, they messing around with them. Do y'all think that boys or girls are naturally attracted to their girl boy best friend?
No.
Cause
She said,
I feel like
No.
it's just that you have a bond with someone that's specifically on a best friend level, not necessarily a relationship level. I feel like it's just y'all are that duo, that best friend duo.
But I feel like in situations where it can get cloudy is when y'all start off having that cool ass bond, and then you start thinking like, oh, is this more than just
Yeah.
platonic?
Mhm.
And that's when that question gets brought up.
For me, I feel like I've never like. Dang, see, look, I done forgot again. I started a whole sentence like I was about to make a whole point and forgot.
I'm good.
I feel like I don't think boys or girls are naturally attracted to their girl or boy best friend, but I feel like in a lot of cases, a boy or a girl would select a girl or boy best friend solely based off of some of the characteristics they would like to see in a partner or a significant other. Because I can say I want V to be my girl best friend or whatever because she has a lot of character traits that I like, but I would also like those character traits in my significant other. I feel like a lot of people do that too, but I don't think it's like a natural attraction. Like, oh, this is my girl best friend, I want on her.
Yeah, I get that. Because, like, you want your significant other, that you know they're supposed to be your best friend. You should feel comfortable enough to tell them everything. So, like, yeah, I get that. Because you want to be able to tell your best friend, like, because, you know, at some points in a relationship, it's some stuff that you might tell your best friend that you're not comfortable telling your significant other. And so it's like, yeah, not like
No, I get
late in
what
the
you're
relationship, but like, you know, like in the beginning. So say you're going through like a family matter and you're like, I don't know, I want to scare them off, right? So, I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, y'all have the point.
I don't think
I'm
it's
good.
a natural attraction. I feel like it can get to that point, but I mean, I don't think so. You could just be friends without being attracted.
That's how y'all click.
There's been multiple
Yeah.
times where I met a girl and her vibe was just cool. Like it just be like, oh yeah, that's my dog. Like I see you as my dog. I don't see you as anything else. And it's not always just straight. Oh, you're attractive. Oh, you'll make a great girl best friend. Like that's kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
like,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
like-
definitely
yeah.
make a female friend the same you can make a guy friend. Y'all just talk. Y'all relate to the same things.
Y'all bond.
And y'all just click. Y'all bond. Like your dude, your dog, your brody, whatever.
Speaking on that, the next question was, do y'all think that best friends tend to end up more than best friends?
I mean, it definitely happens.
I feel like
It definitely happens.
I feel like it depends on
How much y'all click?
how much y'all
of the
click.
traits? How much of the traits are that you're looking for in your significant other happen to be in that person?
And the people around you really too. Like if you don't really have nobody around you and you click with your best friend and you're like, okay, and y'all both are like don't have that much friends or something, and then you like, you know what, I like you. Oh, I like you too. I feel like maybe that's when it falls into like becoming more.
Yeah, if you don't have anybody else, any other options or a roster,
Mhm.
it's just like how much like, oh, it's like we really click, but how much are we clicking for real?
Yeah.
That's when I think that's when that comes in question.
It's been the opposite for me though. Like my girlfriend became my best friend at one point.
Oh, so she went.
Well, your
she-
bitch. Yes.
Yeah. Like
Oh.
so we dated for 4 years
Oh.
and we called it quits and was like, you know, we'll still remain friends and everything. But it's strictly on that best friend level, if that makes sense.
So if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
what's stopping you from going back into being in a relationship?
Not wanting that, like it's began to get toxic, and I know that if we go back into it, it could potentially get back that way.
So,
It's like setting those boundaries and knowing what you want and what you don't want.
okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So say you get into a relationship now, how would that affect? So say your significant other is like, you know, that was your girl once upon a
Wait,
time.
hold on. Is
Like,
that your best friend now?
Huh?
This same person is your best friend like at this moment?
see?
Because when you said that, I was like, no, the question is only relevant if that's still his best friend.
For
Well,
4
the
years
face he
though?
made, that, yeah,
What
like, I was
happens
like
with your
4
best friend
years,
like right now
that's
today?
like-
Okay, so
Yeah,
then,
like 4 years, that's like,
That's a long time.
that's high school, you know, like, that's like, they went, basically, they went through some
What you get-
Seventh grade to 11th grade.
Yeah.
Like
so
that,
if
like,
you got,
really, that's
if
crazy.
y'all got, if you got another girlfriend
Not
now,
crazy, but
how
that's
would
crazy.
that, or how would you let that affect your relationship, or how do you think that would?
I would definitely first be building a bond with the girl I'm trying to get with, but then I would also let her know that like, hey, my best friend was once my ex, but we're not ever getting back together now. We're not on that like type of time.
Now, what if this girl says to you? What if she just say like, "I'm not comfortable with that"? Like it's either me or her.
You gonna cut her off?
Like who are you? Because like
Who you
the
gonna
other
pick
question
at
I
that
asked
point?
before, if it came between your best friend and your significant other, who are you picking at that point? Because you got to pass with this girl,
I'm like,
but you want a future with the other one.
I don't know. I was trying to compromise. Like it hasn't happened Yeah, and I know it's going to, because like whenever I talk to people, I'm like, yeah, my best friend is my ex. They're just like, oh, you're a red flag. I'm just like,
Oh, but see what I mean? It's normalized that somebody having, well, the ex part make it worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
that's
a
what
boy
I'm
having a
saying.
girl best friend is like, oh, it's a red flag. He got a girl best friend.
It's
Yeah.
like, what's the red flag? Because it's always
She
like the cherry on top.
it's just like you have such a strong bond, and you probably don't want to like lose it, and y'all are better off as friends. So it's just like, I don't know.
So what would
I
you do
definitely
with the
see that.
reverse?
No, yeah, I
If
agree.
you met a girl and she told you that she had a boy best friend and then said that was her ex,
I'll definitely talk to her about it, like see like where exactly they stand on if they're really just best friends.
now do you feel like that because you've had that experience, or do you feel like that, or you feel like you would feel like that regardless?
I feel like that regardless.
You stronger.
I feel like I'm kind of minded like that too when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I've had this conversation before, and it was like, if you had a boy best friend, not the ex thing, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you had a boy best friend before me, and y'all close as hell, mama know him and everything, whatever the case is, this is not my place to tell you it's either me or him. That's not my place, me personally. I'm gonna either have that conversation or whatever, but if he crossing lines and stuff, now we have a problem.
And that's
then
when I
that's
was
when it
like,
comes
you know,
in.
It's
Yeah.
just the X part. That's
I can't do that. I'm sorry, I
No,
can't.
yeah, because like
I can't.
me personally, because in the back of my mind, I would just be like, you used to be doing stuff. Like I just like,
Well, that's-
See, I want to be able to
hate-
let that go.
Like, I'm saying,
like,
dude,
no,
face it. He was
yeah, 'cause
just.
it's just
and
like
it's not
then
even
I
just
feel
doing
like
stuff. It's just that. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
no, you're fine.
It's not even just doing stuff. It's just like they knew you on a personal, deep level, like how
Exactly.
I'm trying to know you. So
Right.
that's what bothered me.
Because
You
then
had
like
this before.
yeah, because I
Exactly.
just feel like if you was to have like a problem, then you resort back to them. But it's like, or dang.
That's
Like, you know,
exactly-
like, it's just like I feel like I can't. Not saying that I can't trust you. It's just I don't trust the relationship because I don't know if you telling them that is going to rekindle something between y'all. Then I'm sitting here looking like boo boo the fool. Like I don't like
And
that.
that's exactly the type of stuff that makes people have these past experiences that brings it into the world. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, I can't do that because of this and this and this.
Yeah.
There's something about that that don't say right with me. I can't
It's
sit at a
just
table with a dude that was doing the ABC, but I can't do that.
just my dog. I look at you as if like you're my sister.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that guy was David. That's
Oh no,
She said, "That's crazy."
No, not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not like
I can't do the opposite. Like if I look at you as a sister and we've been friends for even if it was a couple months and we're close, I can't get with you like that. Like I can't. It's just me. It gotta be like a rare case if that ever happens. Like me and you was like we close, like we gang for real. I can't see you as nothing else than gang for real. That's weird.
right.
Yeah, that's just But one of our last questions is gonna be: have you ever been in a relationship and your significant other cheated with their best friend?
I never been cheated on, so I can't. I'm crazy.
He said everybody.
Right, and I didn't say I've been in a full-on actual relationship too. So hey,
Really?
yeah,
You said you never
because
have.
I would say that I haven't just because to me it felt very childish. So I wouldn't say that it was the actual like relationship, like it was childish. So
That
I
still
would-
blows my mind to this day how a lot of people have not been in a serious relationship. That's
I've
really
never-
crazy.
but it's really
That
because
doesn't
like
surprise me anymore because of
Yeah.
this generation.
everybody's
A lot of
childish.
people
and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like for my age I'm very mature. Like I don't have time to be right. You toxic, bro. You're out. Like I'm not gonna argue with you. I don't even argue with family members, so I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. Like so it's just like I can't do it. So I feel like that's why I haven't been in an actual relationship because I want like I don't want to play. Like I just want if we're gonna be together, we're gonna be
Just
together, and it's gonna be one relationship. You're not gonna have hoes. I'm not gonna have hoes. We're gonna be a unit.
Same. I've never
Together.
been in a. I've been in one and it was for 3 days that I broke up with him. I was like, okay, I'm not
Saying that
doing
in
this.
a group chat before.
I was like, I'm not doing this. Like,
What happened?
and that was my
Right.
only
Yeah.
ever relationship ever.
So
3 days. Oh, he just didn't communicate. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna play this toxic. Yeah, no. I was like, okay, bye.
So it was just like
She's
so y'all was like talking before,
We were,
and
but
then he just stopped
and then
communicating.
he stopped. I was like, okay, bye. Like, and
As you
please
should.
give me one more chance.
But at the same time, a title is a title, and a title can go. So don't just
Yeah,
feel like
title can go.
it can like. People come in and out your life all the time. Like you get friends, you lose friends.
Person,
same
there's plenty of
situation you get
single
into a
relationships.
relationship. So,
Okay, last question to close us out. With all of this being said, would y'all, let's say y'all been in a relationship for, I'll say a year now, maybe a year and a half, and this person comes to you and say, I want a boy best friend or I want a girl best friend.
no.
How would y'all feel about that? Or would y'all allow?
The hell?
I was just like, where's the
Like
nigga
that,
coming
like
from? Like,
this
She said,
No,
where you
like
coming from?
that's gonna start an argument.
I feel like, why are you asking?
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like
If it's not, if you're not getting closer with a friendship that you already had, then why are you asking?
Why are you trying to find a new one?
You should-
all of a sudden?
you should-
right, like,
Me,
what-
really.
thank you. Like,
Why are you asking?
You
What
want
is
best friend?
the
You got me.
reason?
You got me. I'll be your best
Like,
friend.
you want friends? I'm right here. Like,
right, like I can go put on a wig, be a
Like, so several different outfits.
like,
really.
come on now.
So you feel like unless it's a person that they already been friends with and they're trying to grow that into a best friendship, they shouldn't like come out the blue and be like, oh, I want a boy best friend or a girl best friend.
No, 'cause
You
what do
can
you need
grow,
one
yeah,
for?
like you can build a deeper friendship without asking or talking about it.
Yeah,
but
'cause it's just
not
mix
something
it.
that has to
Yeah.
be
Something
said.
that
If
is
you
not-
already had a bond established, then it's not something that needs to really be put out. It just happens.
Yeah, just
Right.
yeah.
Hey, yeah, I feel like I don't know.
It doesn't. It's not something that needs
Yeah,
to be said.
I think it's something. It makes
You
me
make me
think like
suspicious now.
And
it's
no,
not-
because now
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say,
Sorry. No, go ahead.
it's like something that's like it's not gonna be by choice, but it starts making me like overthink. I'm like, okay, so wait, why did they come to me and tell me? Are they trying to like cover something up? And it's like I can't help it. Like I'm just
Right, because now it's like, now you kind of making it obvious because now you're asking. But I feel like in the case that you should ask me is if it's already a close friend. Like, you should be like, well, you know, me and da-da-da is already cool. But, like, you know, we thinking about building a stronger bond or being best friends. Okay, cool. But if you come out the blue and say, I want a boy best friend, I want a girl best friend, now that's weird.
Yeah,
But I still feel like you have to-
Because now you're going to go find somebody.
Because I feel, yeah, like you're looking for new friends. Like,
And I feel like even
What's going on?
even if somebody came to me, even how you said like, oh, me and so and so's already been cool, but we trying to be deeper. You don't need to say that you're getting
right,
deeper.
for real.
It's different if you be like, oh, you know, me and him, you know, we've been friends for so and so. Is it cool if we go hang out today, or we might have plans this day and this day, and it's something that just happened. It's not something like, oh, we're trying to be deeper. You just sit down with your friend. It's like, oh yeah, let's get deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then I would feel
Right.
like what am I not doing as your girlfriend? Like, for you to be going to look for something else in a friendship, like, what am I not doing in the relationship? You know,
Right.
like if we, because you said 4 years in, the you're the best friend for, and we 4 years in.
I
You know,
said,
like,
I said it like a year.
Okay, I was gonna say no.
4 years is crazy.
Like,
4 years and now you want best friend?
right? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I just don't think it should be something that's like talked about. I think it just should be like if like I don't mind you having friends, have a friend, and then if they are your best friend, then they're your best friend. But like don't like
Don't make it weird.
Exactly. Don't make it weird. Don't be like, hey, I think I want a best friend. Like that's weird as hell.
That's it for today's conversation, guys. Thank y'all for watching. I'd like to say thank you to all the cast members that came on set today and helped me out with this episode. I'd like to say thank you to our cameraman that was helping us out. And I also like to say thank you for the viewers, those of y'all that like, subscribe, watch the content, share the video with all that. Make sure y'all follow the Instagram again at Zays in Conversation, and then make sure y'all go subscribe to the YouTube as well. The link is gonna be in the video. And make sure y'all go on the Instagram on the story, because I'll post when we pick new topics, and then y'all can vote to either choose the next topic for the next episode, or if you want to be on set, you just vote on the story and then you can join us on the day. And anybody else?
Make sure y'all follow me.
Yes. And you're watching Zays and Conversation.